Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are starting on part 12 of the Case 310G Dozer restoration project. We have our starter back from the starter shop. They totally went through this thing. We have new hardware where applicable. Has new innards right in here, new solenoid, new drive. They said this thing was absolute junk. Sliding over here to the right, you can see we have our gasket set from Ag Kits. Got these right offline, and I was happy to see it even has a little copper washer for our lower oil pan nut. That's going to freshen that up and do quite nicely. And over here, we have a new addition to the channel. These are high flex nitrile backed gloves. I saw these over on Salvage Workshop's channel. He's redoing a cat traxcavator, very interesting series. I believe the first order of business is going to be sliding underneath of this machine, draining the oil. We'll bring you along for that, and dropping the oil pan. Our game plan for today is going to be sliding underneath of the belly of the beast, and we're going to drain the oil. We'll bring you along for that, and then we're going to drop the oil pan and inspect our crank and other various components down in there. Hopefully we don't find any problems. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am underneath the belly of the beast. You can see we've got nasty oil kind of dripping out everywhere. I'm sure this thing drips. Looking here at the oil pan drain, unfortunately this poor thing has had a hard life. It's been rounded off several times, so we'll have to dress that up, and I'm going to use a 6-sided socket and see if we can get as much traction as possible on that. And then our bolts here seem to be about 1/2 inch, so we'll bring you along. That was an elbow jammer. Might have to go to a 15/16. Let's see if we can pound it on there. We got it. That's not good. I think we had some coolant in our oil. That's really not good. All right, we're going to go ahead and start backing the bolts out of our oil pan. about to have it. Okay, here you can see the inside of the oil pan. It is nasty. I'm hoping the water that came out was just setting in the bottom from condensation. We have the remnants of an old cork gasket. Could be original, not sure. I don't think it's RTV black. When it breaks apart, it's reminiscent of cork. So there you have it. The sludge in the bottom doesn't really feel gritty. Has a nice viscosity yet. So I'm hoping the water that came out first was just condensation sitting in the bottom. Let's take a look at the rods and crank. Here we are underneath the belly of the beast. Everything appears to be in order. Not seeing anything loose just yet. The only thing I'm not sure about is this right here. I have a feeling this is supposed to plop down to get the maximum amount of suction, the strainer here. Hopefully the guys on the forum can enlighten me as to that. Otherwise, everything looks to be fairly decent. The not really a lot of slop. What I will call piston number 1 appears to be at basically top dead center. I don't know. Doesn't look too bad. Here's more of our yummy crumbly gasket. Believe it's cork, like I talked about. And a nice Glipdol coating on the inside yet. Doesn't look too bad, doesn't look rusty. This is our dipstick here. Obviously, I'm not up in there to feel them, but I can't see any scoring on the cam lobes. That's nice. Pretty nice. And the strainer has a couple of particles on it. Whoops. The strainer has a couple of particles on it, but nothing to write home about. Timing gears also look pretty good. Not a lot of wear. No chipping or anything that I can see. I think the course of action is to wipe all this down while I'm under here to get rid of the drips and start cleaning things up. Thought I'd give you guys a final look before I clean this up in the parts washer. And before I do that, I'm gonna get rid of all of our old cork gasket with a putty knife here. This is a quick look. We're going to clean up our gasket surface. This turned out just excellent. Excellent, excellent. Here is a look at the bottom of the oil pan. Cleaned up pretty nicely. Most of this scale here, I thought was dirt and grime, is actually just surface rust. We still have to clean up our nut with a flap disc, get rid of the sharp burrs. And here is a look at the inside of the oil pan, nice and clean, mopped out. We'll clean all this with brake cleaner before we install it, but for now, it's perfect. Two things that worry me. One, I found this little guy right here when I removed the oil pan. I'm not sure what the heck it is. There's a little groove cut in it, and it is quite rusty, which is interesting. And where it came out, it did not come out of there, which is normally where you would find it. When I pulled the oil pan down, it was sitting right there, hooked into a hole. I don't really know. Everything seems fairly tight. I don't know. So that's one concerning thing that I found. Glad that we dropped the oil pan. Now let's go underneath the machine. Okay guys, we're in underneath the belly of the beast. I don't know how this will turn up on camera, but let's see if I can zoom in. Right there, oh yeah, it's turning out good. Right there, you can see around this bolt, right there is a couple, and then way up in there on the crank journal, I think it would be called, or maybe the crank bearing. I think it would be a crank bearing, not really a mechanic. I am seeing green antifreeze, which is a little on the scary side. With that being said, it's interesting to me that it is green, and you can clearly tell that it's green because the unit I put in the tan antifreeze from O'Reilly's. So that's kind of interesting. I think I'm going to put a catch pan under this and see if it continues overnight. The other thing is, unless the gentleman that sold it to me realized it was getting coolant in the oil and then changed the oil with used oil, the oil seemed perfectly fine. So I'm not really sure what direction I want to go. Part of me is saying put it back together and see if you can put an hour or two on it, but at the same time I'm a little scared too. Here you can see also there's a little green dimple coming out of that drop of oil where it's separating. Kind of interesting. Here's a look at the oil. It seems fine. It is a little on the thin side, but nothing that's telling me that it's completely saturated with coolant. I don't know what to say, guys. Okay, here's our game plan. I'm going to put my gasket on here. I'm going to clean my gasket surface underneath the engine as best I can, thread everything in hand tight, and we're going to see what happens after 24 hours of drainage. Okay, I really apologize for the crummy quality of this video, but we are underneath of a bulldozer after all. I've cleaned all of the surfaces. They're doing real good. The carb cleaner has yet to evaporate. And now I'm going to throw the oil pan back under here and see if we have any drainage overnight. And hopefully, fingers crossed, there's not. The only thing I can say about it is very weird. Weird that it would be green when I put in tan, and that the oil seemed to be perfectly normal. So, wish me luck. On a quick note, I was able to post a quick video on the Case 310 Dozer forum on Facebook, and this is supposed to float. So, thanks guys, you really helped me out because I was scratching my head. All right, we've got our oil pan reinstalled with a few bolts we're going to check back in 24 hours. It is very weird that the coolant level has not moved at all, like one drop, since I installed it probably 2 to 3 weeks ago. I don't know what to say about it. It's weird, guys. I'm going to wrap up the video right here. I'm going to drop a link to these high flex gloves down in the description. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and we'll see you next time.